Amatakwape. Ambetuashte. Hello, my relatives. Today is a good day. I want to talk about resistance today. What's the best way to resist? Carrying signs, challenging the police, marching, getting on TV, writing letters to the editor, planning subversion, carrying out subversion, economic boycotts. What's the best way to resist? Two things: community and education. The best resistant fighters in the world. Educate and enable the community to continue to exist. And of course, all of that entails spirituality, appreciation of the power that be. Now, on the issue of education, let's look at America. I grew up in Northern California, in the Northern Bay Area, Vallejo, California, from the second grade on, actually third grade on. No, I did in the middle of the second grade, started there. At any rate, at that time, the local schools controlled everything. They had PTA, parent-teacher associations, and the parent-teacher associations were allowed input into the curriculum and to budgetary concerns of the local school. What? You mean you allow community people to have a say in how to spend their money? Wow, what a concept, huh? At the time I was being educated in Northern California, California was ranked #1 in the nation in education, and the United States of America was ranked #1 in the world in education. So I was part of a public school system that was ranked #1 in the world. Now I was growing up in a housing project, all kinds of ethnic groups. But the point is, we were getting educated. And us kids were actually interested in education, interested in extracurricular activities, because they had them. Because the parents, along with the teachers and the administrators, planned all these things. And then they all spent the money together for these things. What a concept, huh? Now California is ranked 47th in the nation in education, and this country, the United States of America, is ranked 17th in the world. Look at the condition of the country. Look how disparate it is. But let's take a recent look at resistance in America. Beginning with the Board of Education decision by the Supreme Court in 1954. Brown versus the Board of Education. That blew the United States of America wide open. Because up until that time, the white male had absolute control. Everyone was in their place. The women were in their place. They voted like they were told. The black people were in their ghettos, the Indians on their reservations, the Chinese, the Asians in their Asian towns, the Mexicans in their barrios, Everyone was in their place. The homosexuals were out of sight. Brown versus the Board of Education upset that control. But what happened under that control is that each and every one of us had community. We had community. We had input into our education. Therefore, we control the education of our children. And the blacks with their freedom fighting, black liberation it was called. I was there. Then there was gay liberation, women's liberation, free speech, the free speech movement, the peace movement. The only aberration in all these liberation struggles. That was the name of the game in the late 50s and during the decade of the 60s, was liberation and being free. Love, not war. Peace. That's what all these liberated groups were doing. And then what happened? The government did two things. In the late 50s, your president, after it already began, warned the nation that this country was going to change from a producing, productive country into a consumer nation ruled by the military-industrial complex that Abraham Lincoln started, by the way. So all these dynamics are beginning to get in play. Also,